Hello, everyone, and welcome to Overthinker. Excuse me, gotta clear my throat already. Still recovering from the old COVID. Anyway, kind of a random one on my head today. Is the death of poetry the death of thought? So I always talk about how nobody reads anything that has deeper meaning behind it anymore, or that you know I don't really know what I'm trying to say with that, but basically it seems that the reading level has gone from adult to young teen, if that makes any sense. And I think that specifically with poetry doesn't seem very, like, I'm not gonna pretend like I'm a poet. Like, I was never into poetry. There was maybe a couple of them I thought were very good. I find them more interesting now, I would say. But, you know, I'd be lying if I said that I had any respect for it at any point. And until, recently within the past, you know, well, there was times where I did, but anyway, still going all over the place. it's it's weird to me that so let me describe how I see poetry. I see it now as it is symbolic. It uses certain things to describe certain other things. It is short story, short verse, and you have to be able to represent a lot with very little words, right? And it's interesting to me that it seems for years now, and correct me if I'm wrong on this, but it seems that poetry has become less and less popular. It is dying. Now, I could be wrong about that. I don't know, but I don't know many young people up and coming that are super into poetry, I guess. I don't know. It seems less and less, but so it's weird to me that one of the most, I guess, direct forms of representational writing is becoming one of the least used forms of writing, I guess. And I think that it directly correlates to the way we talk and think because, well, how am I trying to put that? I'm trying to get ahead of myself here. I think that poetry is very close to what we do on a day to day. Like, so again, like I said, it uses very little to represent a lot, and that's what everybody has to do at every point in time, right? Because I always talk about this, it's almost impossible to represent perfectly what you're thinking or trying to say, right? Especially because everybody around you also has to interpret what you're thinking or trying to say, right? So like that's a lot of the times like in poetry when it's hard to find like a motif, a meaning, a theme or something behind it, right? It's the same thing when people speak. Like that, maybe it's poorly spoken or the poem is poorly written, so to speak, right? But there's still, there's meaning behind the words that isn't exactly the words, if that makes sense. And everybody's obviously just trying to do the best they can, but it's that's why I'm tying the two together, I guess, is because poetry is a very good representation of the way we have to break down our thought from our mind in the same way poetry has to break down the thought into writing, into symbolic words. I don't know. Interesting to me.
Uh-huh.